I'm always talking about, while the world's burning down around you, if you can be the few action takers that continue to make decisions in spite of all the fear and trepidation that's going on and prevalent in society, you will move yourself exponentially further while everyone is sitting still.
How do you find the will to fight back against a world that wants to keep you sedated, average, and stuck in place? Join us for the tools and strategies you need to create a life of abundance, discipline, and high achievement. This is the Tactical Empire with Jeff Smith.
Welcome to the Tactical Empire. I'm Jeff Smith, and we've got a quick hitter for you today. I am going to talk about something that I think is the most important thing for any business owner, for one thing, but right now especially. We're in Q4, about 2 weeks into it at this point. This is something that is top of mind to me specifically because of my current situation as well, right? So like 6 months ago, we went full-time in an RV, and I said, let's travel around the country, go to all 50 states, go to 49 states that we can drive to, take all of our kids to the national parks and visit every national park, and then homeschool on the road, right? So this is something we've been talking about and dreaming about for a long time. And for me, I still have businesses. I still have real estate. I am currently rehabbing a storage facility in Houston. So I wanted to put a twist on it and say, how can I travel like this, live on the road, and still increase my income every year and increase my overall wealth every year? Because I think that's what escapes people, and that's where the trepidation to actually do things that you desire holds people back, right? So what are the possibilities, right? And the number one thing that I'm talking about is the ability to focus. It's a superpower of entrepreneurs. If you can do it, you can be great. If you struggle with it, your business probably struggles, right? And so this is something that I have been struggling with for the 6 months we've been on the road, and it's just because of cadence of routine, right? I had a conversation about this yesterday. When we used to live in a house, I used to get up whenever I wanted to, 3, 4 in the morning. I would immediately knock out my critical tasks, do hours of work before anyone was awake. I could quietly be in my office, and then I could head to the gym after my day was effectively done by 7 or 8 in the morning. And I like to work out in the middle of the morning. And so for me, 10 o'clock in the morning is when I generally work out. And then I come home and I finish my day based on like any fires that we may have or something like that. Like if I have to make some phone calls, if I have to do coaching clients, stuff like that, I take care of in the afternoon, right? And so that was my routine and has been my routine for decades. And it worked well for me. So we move into an RV, right? And like it throws your schedule and your cadence off, right? I don't have the ability to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and not disrupt a bunch of other people. I can't work at the pace I used to work. So how do I become more effective and efficient with my time? Utilizing focus, right? I still do all of the concepts that have got me to this point in life, if you will. And what I do with that is break down critical tasks. I do 3 to 5 every single day, which are like needle movers for my businesses or things that I'm working on. Okay. Not just standard things. It's not like, oh, I did a 45-minute workout or whatever, or I lifted weights today. Check. Like that's not what I'm talking about with regards to a critical task. You have to work when they talk about working on your business versus in your business, this is on your business work. Okay. So like what are meaningful project hours you can spend, moving your business forward? Okay. Are we developing new courses for the Tactical Empire? Are we building and filming new videos, educational videos? Am I prepping for my weekly call where I teach and help the guys move forward, right? So, or am I spending time making decisions on real estate things that need done, right? I have I have a rehab of a storage facility going on right now, and I have 3 other properties getting rehabbed currently as we speak. And so all those things are going on, and I have to be abreast of what's moving, how we are budget wise, and what the timing of finishing those up, getting them leased up. I'm currently in the process of getting software set up for taking payments for our storage facility, right? So like that's what I'm talking about. Building something that's actually moving your business forward, or putting structure or operations into place, or enhancing what you already have. So when it comes to the Tactical Empire, we may do an audit of our courses that we've got on our back end, right? And I may say, well, that course is dated. It's 3 years old at this point. There's different information out now. I want to refilm that video type thing. Like, while it doesn't seem like much, if you update those things and put them out, you've got a better product at that point, right? So those are the things I'm talking about when I talk about critical tasks. And everyone is dealing with this to some degree at this point in time. We're living in a very tumultuous time. I mean, I don't know how many days, 30 days till an election or something, or less. And we've got hurricanes hitting everywhere. I mean, it's just a stressful time. So your ability to put the blinders on and go to work as a business owner, as an investor, is vital. And as I'm always talking about, while the world's burning down around you, if you can be the few action takers that continue to make decisions in spite of all the fear and trepidation that's going on and prevalent in society, you will move yourself exponentially further while everyone is sitting still. And when we pop out the back end of whatever the next crisis is, you'll be a mile ahead of everybody else. That's why these critical tasks over time, they don't seem meaningful when you first do them, but what they do is they compound over time. If I do 3 things a day for 365 days, I've got over 1,000 meaningful completed items done every single year. So you become undeniable in that progress that you're making. Because if you do 1,000 things one year, you may not feel like the needle moves very much. But by the time you do that for 3 years, you've done 3,000 meaningful things, right? 3,000 critical tasks. And at that point in time, the fruits of your labor start to compound and produce the results that you've been looking for, right? So you can't make a to-do list of a million things and think that you're going to go through that whole list, because you just get exhausted and get defeated, right? But if you're very tactical and intentional on what you're doing, like, what is the reality, the number one thing that is going to move everything else forward? That's why we just did quarterly planning a couple weeks ago in the group, right? And everybody's got their own manner or method in quarterly planning. All the gurus have different tactics. Mine is simply this: I want you to list your targets for the next 90 days. Like, list them out. I don't care how many you have. Some people recommend 3 because you can't do more than 3 things or whatever. I think all that's bullshit. I write down somewhere between 3 and 10 things every quarter. And then what I recommend to everybody to do is, there should be 1 or 2 things on that list that is like your waterfall or domino target, right? So you sit there and you look at your list. I've got 10 things on there. Man, that seems like a lot of stuff to do. But I bet you that you can identify 1 of those things or 2 of those things. If I achieve this, then everything else will fall into place, right? So like, monetary goals are super common. Like, I want to get to the point where I'm making this type of take-home income, or I'm going to buy this amount of investments so that I have this passive income. So if you have a monetary target, and then maybe your other goal is to take your wife to Hawaii or something like that, right? Which is going to take 10 grand or whatever, right? So if your monetary goal is, hey, I'm going to make $10,000 extra of take-home pay this quarter in 90 days, then that would be your waterfall or domino target. Because if I make $10,000 a month take home, increase happen, then Hawaii is going to happen, as long as I maintain my time freedom and freedom of location, right? So, like, in that case, or take your kids to Disney or do a bunch of other stuff, right? So the monetary target is the domino target, but like then the waterfall effect of that is we go to Disney, we go to Hawaii, and whatever. We trade in our truck and get a new truck, something like that. I mean, it depends on what's important to you, but oftentimes our targets are related to each other, and you can identify the one most meaningful one, right? And that one should be elevated and focused on above all else, because at the end of the quarter, at the end of the 90 days, you will have a successful quarter if, in fact, you knock down that number one target. And I hope that makes sense. So, when you talk about like all the focus of an entrepreneur, right? How do you block out all the noise? How do you compartmentalize what you're doing? It's through these critical tasks. It's identifying your waterfall targets, and it's staying focused on those. Because if in fact those are achieved, then boom, 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 you achieve 6 or 7 of the other ones, and then you can focus on the next thing left on the list, right? Because everybody makes personal and professional goals in most cases, right? So a lot of your personal goals are going to be attained based on your professional accolades and targets that you knock out. So if we get X amount of customers, then the residual income comes in that you're looking for, and then the vacation happens. It's just a byproduct of the work that you're doing. So identify that when you set your quarterly targets so that you can stay focused on what's important, and block out all the noise of everything else that's going on with regards to the elections, the World War III saber rattling, all this shit that's going on, right? I mean, I understand it's difficult to focus, but as business owners, as men and husbands, it's important to show up and produce and to continue to move your life forward and not sit stagnantly on your hands waiting for something bad to happen, if you will. The best remedy for uncertainty is action. Take action, make a decision, move forward, adjust. And that's in anything in life. Like, just make the decision, keep moving, and adjust as needed, because nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's the way you ever dreamed it up. Stay focused on the direction you're trying to take things, and ultimately keep everything simple. Complexity causes confusion, which it confuses your team, it confuses your customer, your end user, your buyer. So keep everything simple, stay focused, just focus on the actual pillars that build businesses, get back to the basics. Have a great week. Let's kick ass, and I will talk to you next week.